Welcome back to Susan's Kitchen Corner, and on today's episode we're going to make potato salad. But I like yams, I like sweet potatoes, and I like regular potatoes, and I like to mix them up instead of just having a regular, red potato salad or Yukon Gold potato salad, which are very, they're also very good. But it's the same. Just get a yam and a sweet potato and make sure you peel them. So I have a whole bunch of peeled. These are yellow finish, and I really like using Yukon Golds, but yellow finishes I'm going to finish the sentence. Yellow finishes are just fine. This is a pound. These are really small potatoes, so not big. If these are really big potatoes, that will work too. Just a pound. And I know this thing looks really hefty, but this big, huge yam, I got it right, is, because I always get mixed up, is a pound. So that's what would happen if you took all these potatoes and mushed them together into a yam. And then this is also a little bit over a pound, but this is a sweet potato. So I already got all of the potatoes. I'm going to peel this last one, and I'm just going to peel this right into the sink because I'm going to have a lot of peelings. And then we're going to peel the yam and the sweet potato, and then we're going to also need one whole white onion, which is right here. Whole white onion. We're going to need 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stalks celery. I like everything crunchy. I'm a crunch girl. We're going to need a can of olives. I've already cut them, and I'll show you how to cut them. And you're going to need your iced tea, which I've already, I got to make some more iced tea. I drink a lot of iced tea. And we're all going to need mayonnaise. And if you want, this is optional. I love it. It's just, I like the zing on the end, because by itself, this Chinese mustard is really hot by itself. I mean, like, put a toothpick in it, put it in your mouth, you're going to be running for the milk. But mixed with mayonnaise, the mayonnaise tones it down. So you get the flavor, you get the zing, but you don't get the tears. And if you're used to things that are hot, then add more of the mustard than the mayonnaise. I got some capers, so we're going to use the whole bottle of capers because we're going to make a lot of potato salad here. And then I also got some pine nuts. Now, when you go to the store and you look at the price on the pine nuts, you're like, holy crap, it's $11 per pound. I think that's close to what it is. I believe so, but you don't buy, I'm not buying a pound of it. What I do, handful. I buy a handful. I just measure out what would fit in my hand, and when you're doing it from the bin, you hold your hand underneath it, voila, and you're not this is additive. This is extra additive. If you had this, it's okay. You can also use walnuts if you want. You can use peanuts. You can use roasted peanuts. Anything that's a nut can go in the salad. So enough talking, let's get chopping. Let me get everything in my cutting board. Right here. Try to get my cutting board. Okay, so here we go. Let's do the celery first. Celery is always fun. I'm going to put these potatoes in a different, because I want the celeries to go into here. Celery, celery, ha 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 ha. Okay, so we're going to cut it right now. We're going to split it again, split it again. And if you want to, try to split it again. And if it goes awry and it doesn't work, that's okay. So let's just split all these. Basically, this is basic a chopping recipe and a boiling recipe. That's all it is. This is not really, the only cooking you're doing is of the potatoes, the yams, and the sweet potato. That's it. This is super easy. So basically just make it into 4. If you don't want to do the extra splitting, then don't do it. And watch the fingers. Nope, see? Nope. This is going to be a cold salad, not a warm salad. And we're going to cool the, I'll show you how to cool the, we got a lot of celery here, don't we? Now, this recipe can be altered in any way. If you think you're making too much, leave 2 or 3, hold some back. Or if you're like, oh God, this would be great for a party or a potluck or something, then, add more. It's that easy. You are in control. With these recipes, you are in control of how much you want to add, how much you don't want to add. If you think something's better in it, go for it. Okay. Now the fun part, getting it into the bowl. When I scoop things off the cutting board, I always like to go in a diagonal angle, because if you go straight on, what ends up happening is it it goes all over the place and off the cutting board. So always, when you go into a pot, diagonal. Okay, let's get our onion, get that chopped. This is going to be the fun part. My knife isn't that sharp. Okay, so we're going to chop it on the side. Take the peeling off. I love onion sandwiches. Just onion on big piece of bread and a little bit of mayonnaise. That's so good. But what's good when you're young isn't necessarily good when you're older, because I can't do it anymore. If I have an onion sandwich, oh my gosh, my stomach just can't handle it. And I miss them. I can eat onion like this if it's mixed in with something else. But for some reason, by itself, it just doesn't like me anymore. Because I'd be having an onion sandwich right now, or any other time, it's just my stomach says nope. I guess it's just too much of one thing. So, but for some stupid reason, I can have it in the salad. Go figure that one out. Okay, cutting it a little bit different, because the neat thing about cooking is there's so many different ways to do something. It's just not looking at something and go, oh, that's the only way I can do it, and that's the only way I just found a cut on my finger from something else. And why do you think I can feel the cut now? Because of the onions. Whew. But again, there's so many different ways. It's like when I started cooking on my own, I would compare tons and tons of recipes and go, oh, well, that one's good, but wow, this one's better. And because everyone has a different taste. Everyone has different taste buds. Everyone has different likes. What I might like, you might go, oh gosh, that has too much lemon in it. That has too much. That she's using that. What the heck is she thinking? Our family, time-old tradition, has always used this. It's like, that's why when you look at recipes, it's like it's about changing it up to what you like. Because if everyone liked the same thing, it'd be kind of boring. And another thing that really interests me, let's get this. This doesn't really chop really good on the oven, but another thing that really interests me too is sour, and not like sour candy, but sour and bitter things. That just really intrigues me, because a lot of cooking in the United States, a lot of people, well, if you're from a place that uses it all the time, you're going to be, oh, well, gee whiz, we use it all the time. I mean, why is she talking about that? That's boring. But to me, a lot of people, they use that kind of stuff, and they actually enhance the flavors of the food by using bitter or sour things. And it's just, I don't know, it's just really, it's one of my, if I see something of that, my ears just go, oh, I want to read that. I want to see about that. Okay, that's about good enough. If you want to chop this any thinner, I mean, you can chop this a lot more if you want, but I'm just going to leave it right here because my wobbly cutting board. Let's scoop that in. Remember, diagonal. Diagonal will save you. And at the end, of course, you can go straight on. Okay, our water is boiling, but we're not ready for it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to turn it down to low. Yeah, low, fine. Okay, so let's do the olives now. Okay, now you can cut olives any way you want. You can cut, if you're like, okay, well, I just want to cut them in half and leave it at that. The smaller you cut them, the more they're going to disperse through the food. And so what I did is I cut them into disc. That's the way I like to cut them. See, like that, like little, like when they go on the pizza, like that. If you put two of them together, you get steampunk. You get the steampunk glasses. And so cut them in half if you want, like that. Or you can even go further, cut those in half again. Turn them on their side, cut them in half again, and you'll get a lot of little pieces. But that's not what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of whatever that is. Okay. Oh, wrong way. Talking. Got distracted by fuzz, I guess, off my shirt. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut them like that. And that's really easy. But if you want, you can go whammo slammo, where you just go chop 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 chop. That's just going at it. Again, when you chop stuff, there's no rhyme or reason. But the key is, the bigger the pieces are, the longer they're going to take to cook. The smaller, the faster. But we're just going to be boiling yams and yammies and potatoes and sweet potatoes. Okay, so I'm going to chop up one of these. So we're going to cut them into disc. No rhyme or reason to what the disc looks like. And if you get to the end and you're like, well, it's slippery and my knife's slipping around, that's how you deal with that problem. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to stack these up. Take this on the side, leave it just the way it was. Let's get that little guy back in there. And stack these up. Half. Half. So, circles, stack, half, half. It's that easy. And then with these, chop, chop. That's it. Chop that in half. Be right back.